And again, Tar Heel, you kind of lead to our next kind of topic. To me, it's like, give me your Gonzaga UCLA impression. Did you watch the highlights? I actually watched the whole game, Sean. I actually went back and watched the whole game. I think that this is probably your best team by far. Like, even last year's team was good. This team, like, pales in comparison to this next team that's coming up. Again, you know, I think you have I think you have a whole, like, bench just deep of great talented players. It gives me the vibes of like you're a Duke in Kentucky, competing against these guys. I love the way that Chet plays the game. I think Chet, again, I talked about this before on stream. Chet was a guy that, when he went against IMG, if you're a little bit stronger than him, you can kind of push him a little bit more. And I thought that, the UCLA Bruins didn't do a good job of that. And I just think that it was like I think it was like slim pickings. I think with the way that Chet was able to operate, shout out to, as much as I don't like Drew Timme, I will say that Drew Timme does a lot of great things for your basketball team that go unnoticed. Like, there was a drive where I believe Chet blocked a shot, drove all the way, kind of went coast to coast, and Drew Timme did a seal out on that guy, on his man. So that way Chet had an operation room to go and dunk that ball and basically just have a free open lane, just due to the fact that Drew Timme is just creating that space for Chet to go and dunk the ball. I think Gonzaga this year is going to be a really dominant team. It's just, to me, defensively, I want to see I think that's kind of what you were missing last year, Sean, was a defensive presence. And that's what I think Chet Holmgren can give you. And I'm excited for this matchup. This is probably the most excited, and I think in a long time, that any basketball fan, whether it's college, G League, or NBA, has been a part of, because both of the players that are involved in this game, there is something on the line, like, immediately. It's not one of those like, oh, you have a player that, is like the number 12 guy, in the country. This is number one versus number two, in my opinion. And we're gonna find out who number one is. I think this is gonna be the first signal for who the number one guy in the country is gonna be. Both of these players are absolutely phenomenal. And again, we're gonna talk a little bit. I want to watch a little bit of the highlights from Chet Holmgren and Paolo. Again, Paolo is a player that I could, is stronger, going to be a little bit quicker to go and attack the lane. And I just feel like his game is going to translate very well to the NBA, but also Chet Holmgren's game. I feel like you can't go wrong with either player when it comes to draft picks. I think, I think Chet is still a little bit of I wouldn't say project, but I think there is some stuff that you can work on with Chet, and I think that he has like tremendous room to grow. Whereas, like, I feel like Paulo's like here, and I think he can go up. It just depends on like how much a team can maximize his potential depending on what team he goes to. So again, I kind of want to watch a little bit of Chet Holmgren highlights. I was watching a little bit before I watched the stream. Of course, this is number, and I'm gonna mute the audio so we don't get copyright stricken. Again, good block there, chase down. Still needs to work on his balance a little bit more. I know that this is not centered, and I'm trying not to like get in trouble here with it. But again, this is the play I'm talking about, Sean. I believe this is the one where Drew Timme seals Jaime Jaquez and just basically gets a free open dunk. Like that, to me, those are little things that make Gonzaga really good. As much as I dislike Mark Few and kind of what he did, and Drew Timme with his mustache thing, you can't hate on this team for the way that they play. Again, good ghosting on the screen. Now you're getting a post up on Jaime. Again, good rip through, patience. Is a guy like that, to me, that's the move right there. Where it's like he had the patience to, see if something was open on that side. So he's looking, like, the thing I like is that he's looking for his teammates first, and then he's gonna go up with the shot. Like, he looks, doesn't see anything, gets himself on balance again, and then goes up with the shot. Like that, to me, is what I love to see with basketball players, is having that patience and that presence to be like, I'm not just gonna go up with it. I'm not just gonna force the pass. I'm gonna assess my options, see what I have, and then do something with it. And that's the thing that I think a lot of that goes unnoticed in basketball games, and just kind of what is missing from the generation that's coming up. And not just NCAA players, but also like just regular high school players. Like that's what's really missing. Again, great seal on the man. That was probably a bad switch. Again, let's look at that again. again, uh, this is just like I think this is just poor defense because now you basically screwed Johnny here. Now Johnny has to guard Chet, and this is just a mismatch all day. Like that's gonna be a mismatch anytime, any place. Like I think what I'm not sure what should have happened on here. Like okay, you trap. And I think this guy, I'm not sure if my mouse can show, but the guy that's guarding Drew Timmy, I can't remember his number, but this guy that's kind of closest to the basket, I think has to absorb Drew Timmy. And I think you just have to kind of make a switch, right? And you have to have Johnny go out here, have Hami kind of stay with his man here. And I think you just, let's see here. I'm trying to think of like what would be a more accurate term. So this guy that's down here has to pick up, I think he has to pick up Chet so he doesn't do a post up and get that mismatch. Then you kind of have, either Hami kind of go and find another man to guard because now this side is the strong side. Whatever ball side, because obviously the court you can split it in two. On this right hand side, this is now the strong side. He's got to stay with this man in the corner, right? So he doesn't, do a drive. I think Hami or Johnny. I think Hami has to he needs to show first. Like he needs to show and then have Johnny pick this guy up. This guy that's guarding or that's right next to Chet has to go pick up that guy at the 3-point line. And then Hami just kind of has to go chase Drew Timmy and kind of create that movement. I just feel like that would have been a little bit better on that action because now it's like Johnny Juzang now has to guard Chet Holmgren, and that's a mismatch all day, every day. And that's just an easy bucket. Like that's just easy. And I'm glad that the Gonzaga Bulldogs were able to see that type of action. Again, we're probably going to see a block here, just due to the fact that this is just they won by 20 something, if I remember right. I can't remember what they won by. Again, I mean, they obviously didn't get I think Chet's too big that he can get away. Like you can get away with that. Like he can give him an extra step. Again, great hold there. Don't try to force it, put it on the ground. Again, Gonzaga's just a different team this year. I feel like they're deep 1 through 12. Again, I just don't think that you can kind of bully Chet that much. Like you're gonna get blocked. Like it's not gonna be one of those situations where it's like, oh yeah, I can just bully Chet to do whatever I want. Like you're gonna get in trouble. I know he fouled there, but again, it was still great defense. Again, the one thing I would like for Chet to not do is just have that extra hand on there. Down low because they're gonna call that every time. But he's so versatile. Like I really think that he's gonna do really well in the league. I think he just needs to work a little bit more on his balance. Like I still think that there's some off balance stuff that he can work on, but that is definitely a great deal. Like adding a shot blocker definitely adds a little bit more to your game. Like adds a little bit more to your defense. Again, I just don't think that the Gonzaga Bulldogs had last year, which I think was another problem, is that there was no intimidator at the paint. Again, that was crazy. I'm not sure where there was no foul there, but again, it was a good block by Chet. I don't think there was a foul on Chet, but again, the fact that there's a mismatch there from Johnny to guard Chet, that should never I don't know what the coaching I need to be what's inside in the heads of the coaching staff because I'm not leaving Johnny on Chet. He is. I feel like Chet's way too good and will take care of that mismatch. Sean, I'm not sure if you're still with me, man, but I know I'm talking a lot of coaching terms, but it's just too big of a mismatch. I'm not sure why UCLA, again, just rewatching the highlights and rewatching the game, I can't believe that they let Johnny take some of those offensive possessions. Again, great block, great time. I mean, the thing is the one thing that you're gonna be for certain when it comes to Chet Holmgren is that he's gonna be a shot blocker and a defensive threat in the NBA right out the gate. Like if you're looking for a guy that's gonna be a defensive stopper, if I'm the Boston Celtics, I'm kind of looking at that guy to see if we can get something for him. But obviously the Celtics need to lose a lot more to get in the lottery pick to get Chet Holmgren. But at the end of the day, I do think that this to me, when I watch Chet Holmgren play, this to me is going to translate so well in the NBA. Like, even if his offensive game doesn't develop in the way that you would like it to, in terms of like being like the sort of like I can do go to the post and do like a little shimmy shimmy ya to go and finish, or to kind of do all these other things. I really do like. Sorry, as I kind of drink my water. Not talking about Paulo and Chet, gets me worked up. And I need some water sometimes. But again, I think defensively, Chet's gonna stand out in the NBA. Like I don't have any issues with him in the NBA. I think he's gonna do a really good job, um, and stuff like that. So again, I really do like that. Zach's ball screen game is so good that we can force switches. Few has that unlock. Yeah, man. Like I said, I think this is probably your deepest team, Sean. Like in ages, I do think that this team is way better than last year's by far. I think Nolan Hickman, again, a freshman, played at Eastside Catholic. He, before he went to Utah, I think to just kind of play a season. Um, he's good, man. Like I feel like he's gonna be so good. Well, whether he goes to the league or whether he plays another year for Gonzaga, he's gonna be good wherever he goes, man. I like his game. I watched him again in the Metro League here in Seattle. He'll be good. I have no doubt about Nolan Hickman, a Seattle kid. He's gonna be good. Any Seattle kid, I trust. I trust the Seattle kids. And that goes for the next guy we'll talk about with Paulo. I really trust him to be a really good player in this league. Again, Chet. I like the game, man. I know that this is like a situation where like people are gonna be like, well, he's too skinny. Like, will he be really able to do it? But man, he like the shot timing there, man. Like that's something that you can't really teach. That's instinct. That's stuff that like you can't teach anybody to do. Like it's just kind of naturally happens. And again, it was great there. He kind of stole the ball from Hami. I'm not sure what happened there. He fell, and that guy got fouled. I'm not. That guy kind of gave up on the play. What did he do there? That was just dumb. Again, foul, little hip check to Chet. Gonna make his free throws. I see him being a proverbial all NBA player. Like he's just that good. Defensive player of the year for sure. Like he has that ability to be that guy. Again, creating that space for the guy to make a drive, and again, open at the top if the guy gets stuck down there, and that's just an easy bucket. And again, this is like a minute 45. Can shoot the three, can stretch the floor. I mean, like this guy's a complete package. And again, I am excited to see his future in the league. I think he's a one and done, in my opinion. I know that this may upset some Gonzaga fans or make them, a little bit sad to know that he is a one and done. But at the same time, I think he's that good. He is that good of a player, man. So again, I like his game. I think he's going to be a good player, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. What do you think of Nembhard at point guard? I think he's the best point guard in the country. You should pull up his highlights. I'll put it up after we talk about Paulo a little bit, Sean. I do like Nembhard, and I'm gonna probably do a. Well, I guess this is a Gonzaga Duke preview, right? So we'll talk about Nembhard as soon as I'm done talking about Paulo, because I feel like Paulo again is gonna be another animal, and I'm curious to see like how Paulo versus Chet's gonna be, if they're gonna cover each other, or is it gonna be Paulo playing the four, and kind of like kind of what's going to go on there. So again, this is Paulo versus Citadel. Again, they played not a very good team here, but again, I do think that Paulo he just has the stroke already. Like everything is there, man, and he's got the body for it. Like you can tell that he's going to be a good player in the NBA. Like you can tell with the way that he is it taking over the games. Obviously, first two games were amazing. The last two weren't as good. But again, he adds a different dynamic to this Duke team. I haven't really watched anybody besides him on this Duke team. This is Coach K's last year, so I'm curious to see what's going to go on with that. Again, those hustle plays, man, like this is something that I think a lot of kids now are missing. Like Paulo is that dude. Like he's going to be the guy that like if something happens on the ground, he's going to go get it. He's going to do something with it. And I'm excited again, I think he's got a great NBA future ahead of him. Again, another one and done type of player. Hustler, rebounder, like he's gonna go get the ball. Like whether he makes it or misses, he's gonna go up, he's gonna shoot it, and he's gonna be a guy that has that like. I think at the end of the day, he is probably a more athletic version of what Julius Randle was. Like I think Julius Randle was a really good player, but I think Paulo is like that times two. Like, and this is just my initial reaction watching Paulo play the game. Good passing there from the big man, something that you don't normally see from them. Sometimes when it comes to big men, they can be black holes where it's like as soon as the ball goes down low, no one else is touching the ball unless it's like very obvious. And again, great defense there, forcing a bad shot. Paulo, again, great player. And I really do like what I'm seeing from both of these guys. It's going to be a fun season to watch these guys. Hopefully they meet up in the championship game. It'd be awesome to see it. Again, Paulo's got that mid-range game. Like, that's something that a lot of kids don't really know anymore. It's not really something that is taught, but you're seeing like the greatness of just like having that mid-range is just helpful. So that way, when you do get that sort of pick and roll situation where they trap, then you can have Paulo kind of like, slip that screen a little bit, kind of be kind of like a short roll a little bit where it's like you set the screen. If they're trapping, Paulo can kind of slip that a little bit, kind of stay in that mid-range area, pick the ball, turn, face, and shoot that jump shot. Like that, that's how good I think he can be. And again, that's just great passing vision. I know he played quarterback at O'Day, and that's probably where this passing is coming from and why he's such a good passer. Um, Again, I know this is Citadel. I know this isn't like what Gonzaga faced against UCLA, but again, it kind of goes to show you that like scoring this many points, even in college, like no matter what it is still a good thing. Again, the jump shot looks so much better than it did in high school and kind of like that early like pre-college stuff. Like it looks pretty good. I'm not sure, I need to look at the numbers to kind of confirm some things just to make sure that like the numbers are backing up what I'm seeing from the jump shot. Again, great use of the screen, and he's so athletic that he's just gonna go up and finish that ball, and finish that. I mean, he's gonna be a good player, man. I know he had the stuff earlier with Coach K's son. I'm hoping that's kind of behind him, and he can kind of focus on his game because, man, like I said, he's a good player, man. You can't hate on him. I know that a lot of Gonzaga guys are gonna be like, I think Chet's better and stuff like that, but both these guys are gonna be so good, man. Um, that seems like Duke is already getting some really good guys for next year. It kind of goes to show you kind of the Duke name is still there, even with Coach K not there. Again, great dunk right there. Oh, hang on, I think I paused it. Again, that guy tried to like pull the chair, try to draw the charge. That guy was flopping. He's not gonna get that call. It's gonna be a bad day if you're gonna go against Paulo. I'll tell you that much. Again, like has good passing vision. Like that's the one thing that I think a lot of people aren't thinking about when it comes to Paulo. He can be that. Honestly, I think he could be like similar to like a Giannis or any of those type of guys that like bring up the ball. Like I know Giannis is just like a specimen. Like he just like there's no one else like Giannis where he's like 6'11" with some handles. Like I think Paulo can be that kind of point forward where he's just like he can bring up the rock, but he and pass the ball, but he can also be the guy that you can set stuff for. Like he has that versatility in his game, and that's something that I think a lot of people don't realize when it comes to a guy like Paulo. And we'll watch some Andrew Nemhard highlights just to kind of see. I know Sean is talking about. We can kind of like talk about he drops 24 on UCLA. We'll talk about him in a second. But before we do, again, Paulo is the real deal, man. I am so excited for the game on Friday, 7:30 Eastern. Again, I'm not paid by by any of the schools. I'm not even paid by ESPN, but I think it's going to be such an awesome game, and I'm curious to see how Coach K is going to coach against Chet and what the strategy is going to be for him. Like, what are they going to do with him on ball screens? What are they going to do with him when it comes to like to get him away from the rim, right? Because the way that you want to do it is you want to have your big man up top and try to run some offense so that way Chet's not down below with the shot blocking. Like, some people, they kind of coach and they don't know how to coach, like getting that big man out of there, which is like a huge beneficiary for Gonzaga to have Chet down low. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. Like, for example, like, are they going to have Paulo on Chet, and is Chet going to guard Paulo? And is, since Paulo is such a stretch out guy, like you can stretch him out to the outside 3-point arc. Like, what are they going to do with him in that aspect? So I'm going to be curious to see what they're going to do. But I am excited for this game. And the last thing we'll do here before we kind of sign out is watch the Andrew Nembhard highlights. I know that this is the same game. We're going to watch him kind of take over. Again, Sean, I don't know if you're still with me here, but do you think that Nembhard is better than Jalen Suggs, or do you think that Jalen Suggs is still a better point guard than Nembhard? I know Nembhard has been here for a minute. The jump shot scares me a little bit with the low release. And again, I'll have to watch the highlights here. Again, great rebound. Good find. Corner, classic, just drive and kick to the corner. Boom. Again, Nembhard with great defense. Good finishing, great speed to go and finish over that guy. It's awesome to see, man. Like I said, this Gonzaga team is a lot deeper than last year. I think it's a lot better than last year's team, like by far. Again, finds the open guy. Boom. Oh, that was my neck. So again, I'm excited to see what's going on for this. Nembhard is more of a pure point guard than Suggs. Suggs' potential is way higher and can play off ball. That's true. Nembhard, maybe he's more of a traditional, like, I'm gonna get my guys, the looks first, and then I'll take the shot. Again, I just want to look back at this shot and just kind of let's slow this shot down a little bit. Best handles and passing in the country. He's a good player, man. I won't disagree with you there. I think he's a really good player. So I want to slow down this the speed here and kind of show you what I'm talking about. Let's just kind of show you the release point. If you guys can look at the release point when he releases the ball. I'm going to pause it when he's ready to take a shot. Right there. That to me is a concern, Sean. If Nembhard's going to go to the NBA and play at that level, I think anything below the eye level is a little concerning to me, because you want the shot to be like above the eyebrow a little bit. Like, you want like the release point to be here rather than like right here. Because again, if you're shooting it from like right here, it's going to get blocked every single time in the NBA. Like, I don't care, especially at his size, it's not really a good set point to have. Like, you want it to be just above, again, above your eyebrow. Like, that's where you want, like, to me, like, obviously never shot, like, shot in high school as a player, but never was a guy that was like, college or NBA. But, from all the years of studying the game and kind of forming my own opinion and learning from guys like Mike Denham, and other guys in the basketball atmosphere, the shooting guru, and all these other kind of shooting coaches, and even some coaches that that I currently coach with, and getting their opinions, and also some former alum from the high school that I coach. Like, again, you don't want the release point to be this low. You want to, like, again, it has to be like at least here, because the problem is, again, if you shoot it from here, it's gonna get blocked every single time. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. And I know he does have the separation and the handles, but in order to move to that next level, Sean, the set shot has to be a little bit higher. Like, I would just have it here to get ready to go. That is just my opinion. Again, Nembhard's going to do him. Obviously he trusts the guy that he works with. He trusts his jump shot. So again, obviously in college it'll work. Obviously you're more athletic than some of these other guys. There's still that separation of athletes. So again, great point guard vision. Obviously, two guys there. Not sure if that was the right play call, but it was still that play was run the right way. Can't tell, was that travel? It might have been. I think that was okay. Again, really patient. Obviously, has a great finish at the rim. Um, but I do like the fact that he looks for his teammates first before he gets his. Like that. That to me is like huge for a point guard to have that. And again, great handles. Is someone that you can trust in the backcourt to like if they're playing man to man, press coverage where like um you're getting picked up at full court. Like if everyone clears out the way, Nemhart's gonna be able to dribble out of that and get the offense going. Again, I love this Gonzaga Bulldogs team. Like I've never liked like last year's team I liked just because I like Jalen Suggs. Obviously, right now struggling in the NBA, but I still think he's got the ability to do it. I really do like this Gonzaga team, Sean. Like I know I know I troll you guys a lot when it comes to Gonzaga. But I like this team, man. I think this team is going to be a really good team. I think you're going to see a lot of great things from this Gonzaga team. I think again, what you were missing was that like shot blocker, someone that can command the paint. So that way, you can do a lot of different things on the defensive end for switching and ball screen defense, and you don't have to necessarily like, especially if you're gonna have Chet in the help side in the hole, like you're 2 or 3 passes away, he's probably gonna be under the rim, probably a little bit closer to kind of affect the shot. Where like his man is probably depending on who they are, like if they're a stretch big, maybe that helps a little bit. So now it's like you can stretch out a little bit. But Chet is just a glitch at this point. With the guy that's got like a 7 something, like maybe an 8 foot wingspan. Like I can't remember how tall his wingspan is, but still a very good player and has the ability to recover quickly, no matter if the guy is at the rim or whether it's his man closing out on the opposite corner. Like he's going to be able to recover so quickly with his size and length that I think that you want to keep him down low. And I really do think that that was kind of an issue last year, especially, with Drew Timmy being more of an offensive minded player. Last year, I can't remember who like, I think it was Drew Timmy that you ran at the center. But if have Drew Timmy at the 4, I feel like that's a little bit better than like having him at the 5 and not having Chet Holmgren kind of be your defensive anchor. Whereas like last year, I didn't know who your defensive stopper was. Like I know Jalen Suggs is a great on ball defender, but you really do need that rim protector because he adds such a different dynamic to the game that a lot of people don't realize how impactful that is. I know he's 7 foot tall, and you could say, oh well, he's 7 foot, of course, but it really does help. You can be 7 foot, but not really good on defense. Like Chet is an elite NBA already level defender at his young age. And, with his size and length, I know it's easy to say, like, oh, well, he should be, but it's really hard. And, like I said, some big men are blessed with it, some people aren't. Um, Again, this is going to be a matchup number 1 versus number 2, and I'm excited to see which player is going to come up on top. Is it going to be Paolo Banchero or is it going to be Chet Holmgren? Both guys coming from the Washington area. Obviously, Chet more so from the Minnesota area, and Paulo coming from the O'Day. So I'm always going to root for my Seattle guys, just because I'm a big Seattle head. I love Seattle basketball. There's a rich culture and history of Seattle basketball that I think a lot of people don't realize. I know I'm not sure if you realize it, Sean, but man, it's some great culture of basketball here, man. Like there's so many good players that have come through this area. And I think it's probably one of the best areas for basketball. I know that California has a lot of guys, New York has a lot of people, but I think no one beats Seattle basketball because of the way that it's ran, because of the style of play, and just the culture and history of really the Metro League and those Metro teams. Peyton Siva, a great guard from here. Kevin Porter Jr., amazing talent. And many other guys, Jamal Crawford obviously being, I believe, kind of the OG, obviously like the OG of my time, right? There was probably a lot of people back then that were more OG, but again, I'm excited for this Duke versus Gonzaga game. It's going to be a fun watch, and I hope you guys are tuned in and ready to go watching the Duke Blue Devils take on the Gonzaga Bulldogs. It is going to be tons of fun. Hopefully, you guys are watching. Get your popcorn ready. If you're watching it with friends, be responsible. And just enjoy an amazing game, man. It's going to be one of those games where you're looking at it and you're going to be excited for what's going to be going on for the foreseeable game on November 26th at 7:30 p.m. Number 1 Gonzaga versus I'm not sure if they're number 3 or number 4, but it's going to be a fun game. And let's look at the betting line. I'm not sure if there's anything. They have Gonzaga winning this 70%. Um, Again, Paulo averaging 17 a game, 54% from the field, 85% from 3-point land. From the 85. I mean, if shooting 85, shoot, man, he's gonna be a really good player in the league. But 85 from the free throw line. Paulo with 8 rebounds a game, which is awesome. Wendell Moore with 5.7 assists a game. So you know that he's gonna be a guy that is definitely gonna make a huge impact. Drew Timme leading the way in offense with almost 18 or almost 20 a game, shooting 69.4%. So he's someone that we should look at and see what, if that makes a huge impact on the floor. Chet going to get you 6.7 rebounds a game. Meanwhile, Nembhard is going to get you 5 assists. So, again, I'm excited to see it. Both teams are on a 6-game win streak. One of these win streaks is going to come to an end. Field goal percentage, advantage Gonzaga. Rebound percentage, advantage Duke, actually. And then Gonzaga, obviously, with the assists, blocks, and Duke with the steals in that category. So, again, this is going to be a fun game. I'm excited to watch this game. Hopefully you guys are. And Sean, hopefully you kind of get my analysis on this. If I had to pick who's going to win, so it's number 1 versus number 5, I'm going to go with the Gonzaga Bulldogs. As much as I'm a Paolo Banchero type of player or type of guy, like I like his game. I think that he's going to be a really solid NBA player. I have the Gonzaga Bulldogs, man. They need to. I think I would say that this is a must-win game, and it's a statement game for their season, for the postseason tournament. Like, if Gonzaga can really get this win, I really think it's going to show everyone like they are the top dogs. No pun intended for their Bulldog name. Like, they're going to be the top dogs, and they're going to be the number 1 team. And I really do think, like, if they win this game, I really think it's a momentum carrier for the tournament. As early as it is in the season, I know you could say, like, oh, well, it's early. Both teams are going to kind of, like, find out who they are, going to find out, like, what offense works. What stuff works for them. I really do think when I watch both of these teams, I think this is a momentum builder. I think this is a momentum builder for Duke and Coach K if they win this game, because I think it's a game that you can say, like, well, we battled basically the number 1 team, I feel like, in the nation, with the number 1 recruiting class and all this other stuff. Like, when I see that, like, that could be an inspirational thing for Duke, being like, yeah, we beat those guys. Now we can do anything we want in the tournament. Whereas Gonzaga, if they win this game, now it's like, okay, now we're unstoppable. Now we actually have the ability to actually do something. And it's like, okay, we've beaten everybody. We beat a Texas team. We beat a Blues Devils team with arguably the number 1 or number 2 draft pick in the NBA. Like, it's going to add a lot of dynamic for this Gonzaga team, and I'm excited to watch this game. So hopefully you guys are as well. And please remember to leave that like, share, and subscribe. And hit that like, hit the share, and also hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Again, the more likes, the more subscribers, the more the channel can grow, and I can finally start putting out some new content in terms of merchandise and stuff like that. I want to do that for you guys. I also want to do a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. So get us to 1,000 subscribers, and we'll definitely do that giveaway 100%. But